Perfect. Well, good morning, guys. Happy Technical Tuesday. We have an amazing guest speaker on this morning, Miss Melissa. She hails from the Manda Arndt Agency, and this is a little bit about Melissa. So Melissa is PIF perfect for Q1 with an A to T ratio of 116.7%, and a cancel at issue with a 1.3%, guys. So those numbers back up solid business. She's on track to earn I Dare You for a second year in a row. In her 18-month career with Family Heritage, she's written just about $300,000 of personally families protected. Her book of business with team building is already over $500,000, and she was the number 2 agent in Wisconsin. Okay. Currently, her team of 2 is already over $130,000 for Q1, right? $130,000, a team of 2. Melissa puts her whole heart. This is something that Amanda Arndt said about Melissa. She puts her whole heart into everything she does, from building her agency to leading her agents. She gives it her all. She is very strict moral compass and runs her business with customer service in the very forefront. She's married to her real life cowboy and cheese curd connoisseur, Brad. I need to meet Brad. That sounds like a good guy. They have a beautiful baby boy, Cooper, who turns 2 in May. She's making a run for market director this year. And Amanda said that she is privileged to work with Melissa while having her as one of her very best friends. They've known each other for over a decade now, and their families get to do life together. And that's what makes this career so special. So guys, please give a very warm welcome to Miss Melissa.
Woo!
Woo-hoo!
Well, thank you. Good morning. What a warm welcome. Thank you so much. An awesome Monster Monday for everyone too. I love hearing those stats. I think it's going to roll into exactly what I want to focus on today with y'all, because it's just going to match perfectly. The great thing about what we do is we get to celebrate all of those wins, no matter which level they're at for us. And I really love that team aspect. So way to go to start off your week with like a heck yeah, right? Doing what's right. So what I wanted to focus on today when I was thinking about it, when Van and I were talking, is talking about consistency and then maintaining business on your books. That is key for us to be successful in this career and to continue that growth that we're all looking for. And one thing that's been a huge focus of mine for this year has been that consistency of ensuring that I'm submitting business every week. Because I noticed when I first started in the career, there was kind of some highs and lows, right? There would be like, oh, amazing weeks, you know, Eagles. And then there'd be a couple of weeks of like, goodness, I can't find my yes to save my life, and stuff. And so what I wanted was that consistency. I wanted to bring it all together. And so I think when we start thinking about consistency and our book of business, we have to ask ourselves a few questions. So the first question I always ask myself, or we ask ourselves, is, you know, why is it important to have consistency of writing new business every week? What is the impact of it, right? Biggest thing for me, it continues to build my momentum, right? As you're writing new business, you're getting out there, you're putting in those long hours. Like I was hearing those stats this morning, you know, 8, 9, 10, 12-hour days. You're giving, anywhere from 6+ demos and stuff. That's going to build that momentum. That's just going to lead into the next week. And that's what's really key about that. So you know exactly where you're going. And it's so important because you know what your next direction is. You don't have to wonder or be hesitant sitting in the car of what direction I'm going to go next. You already have your game plan in place. Plus, the other big part about the importance of having consistency and writing new business is it really moves the needle towards your goals. You get to see the progress, you get to see the growth and how you're achieving your goals. When you have that fluctuation of big weeks and maybe 0 weeks, which I hope not, but I know it happens, you're going to get that ebb and flow, and then you're going to get nervous, and then you're going to kind of forget about those habits or those routines that you had and the direction that you were going. And so it really will smooth out and streamline for you your day-to-day routines and where you're going. And then ultimately, it's important because it's the financial impact for you, right? You know, we work to support ourselves, to support our families. And so we need that current growth in our business and able to do that, and also get back to our communities too. So that's the first part about it, is why is it important to you? You know, sometimes it's really helpful. I like to write things down so you can even think about this to yourself today. Why is it important for you to have consistency in your business? Second part of it is like, okay, we understand or have established our why is it important. Now, how do we maintain that, right? What does it take in order to achieve that consistency? First and foremost, I'm a big goal setter. I'm a pretty competitive person. That's probably why Amanda and I jive so well, because she's just as competitive. And it's not necessarily with a group, but it's just internally, we're very competitive. And so what I like to do is write down my goals. You know, what are your goals for this week? What are your goals, you know, long term? What are your goals maybe even for the day? You know, what do you want to accomplish today? And once I have those written down, I know how I'm developing or setting my schedule so I can achieve those goals, no matter if it's setting a schedule for the entire week, it's daily, and sometimes I even break it down by the hour. There's a new approach that I've kind of done, is called like my power hours or power half hour or whatever it might be. And I even do this personally now too at home. Is I give myself X amount of time and I see how much I can get done in that amount of time. So literally I'll set my timer on my phone. If I only have even 40 minutes, I'm going to set it and I'm going to try to accomplish as much as I can in that 40 minutes. And stuff, because that's where I know I am going to get as much done and I'm going to get the most out of it. And the biggest part is too about consistency and how to maintain it is we want to create habits. We want to be able to create sustaining habits that we are just natural to us, right? We automatically do those. And those don't happen overnight. So we have to start now in order those to develop, because most of the time habits take over 2 months to fully establish. They say average 66 days. And so we want to get into that pattern right away. And then the biggest part of it is focus on your 2 out of 3 days. That's the key part of it, right? I mean, you're getting your hours in, you're getting your demos in, and it's not even just focusing on the number of demos, it's the quality of your demos. Taking the time and really going through them with each individual that you're meeting with and giving them your time to fully understand what we do and the importance of it. I'm known for, I do take a little bit longer in my demos. I ask a lot of questions. I feel like my demos are more of a conversation with someone, because that's how I know that consistency is going to be there for that individual, not only to start earning their trust, to make sure they understand and really feel the value of the products that we work with and the impact that it's going to have on their family if and when they need it. And then also it's starting off your weeks with a bang, right? I loved hearing all that good news. That gets me so excited. I try to start every week with at least 6 appointments already scheduled and 4 enrollments scheduled. Okay. Because I know for sure I am going to be protecting families. Then after I have that established, I'm filling in everywhere else. Now I'm growing a team as well. So I'm altering my schedule a little bit for focusing on the recruiting side as well. And so I have to know that really focus on my time and make sure that I'm being always efficient with all hours, all minutes of the day. And stuff. So really always think about that, you know, take a few minutes at the end of your week and look at your calendar for next week. Are you happy with where you're at? You know, do you have those appointments? Do you have those enrollments scheduled that you feel confident that you're going to achieve your goals for the next week? It's really focusing on being proactive versus being reactive and just kind of scrambling through the week of how am I going to make it work? And then the biggest thing is try to schedule your enrollments right away on Monday or Tuesday, because that builds that positive energy that builds that momentum for the week already. And I know when I can protect families already on Monday or even on Tuesday morning already, my week is just jump started and I'm ready to go. Things are in motion. I'm moving forward. Plus also, if you start that process at the beginning, you're going to be asking for, those referrals, which will definitely add into your week later on.
Huh? The egg is raw.
Was there a question or a comment? No? Okay, sweet. And so that's really important too. So try and schedule those appointments right away in the beginning of those enrollments right away at the beginning of the week, because then you're ready on the right track towards your goals. And the biggest part is too, never give up, right? Never give in. This isn't an easy career, but we all are doing it, or we all are able to do that because of our whys, right? We're all driven for different reasons, but we got pulled into this career or gravitated toward this career for that specific reason. And we need to utilize it, play to your strengths. And when you do have those tough times, because trust me, I have those tough days in the field where I'm like, what am I doing? Like, just doesn't seem to be clicking. I, may second guess myself. Have that accountability partner. If it's someone within your team, if it's someone outside of your agency, have that person that you can call or you can text and be like, hey, I'm in a rut. I am, I'm not sure what's going on right now. I just had, 4 enrollments and I wasn't able to close on the spot. Whatever it might be, have that accountability partner to get you back on track, to remind you what direction you want to go and what you're trying to achieve. And then they can help always fine tune some areas that might be giving you a tough time at the moment. And then most importantly, to maintain that consistency, live in the moment, celebrate all the wins, right? No matter if they're big or small, celebrate that you got out of your car in less than a minute from parking, instead of taking maybe 4 minutes or 5 minutes. Even celebrate those, what I like to call those learning opportunities or fail forward moments. Like, I just walked out of a business and, oh man, that demo was rough, right? I stumbled over my words a few times. I didn't ask those second level questions. Oh, but you know what? The next one, I'm nailing it because I remember what I missed this time, so celebrate those moments, learn from those moments. We are always trying to be the best version of ourselves. And when we can achieve that, that's how we maintain that consistency. And also that's how we grow. And that's what it's about. So that's really my main focus on the consistency part of it. Any questions, comments, concerns before we run into the maintaining your business on the books?
Melissa, I got a quick question about that. You hinted and touched on planning your week and having a really big schedule. What do you do to get your game plan together, and what do you focus on as priorities when putting together that game plan?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I'm old school and I actually use a paper or a paper calendar. Like I have it in my bag with me all the time. Because yep, exactly. I have that. And so when I'm in front of someone, I literally pull that out to schedule right away with them, because when I write things down, I remember it better. And that's just what I do. So as I'm out in the field, introducing myself to individuals, to businesses, whatever it might be, I'm trying to, if I don't get an on-the-spot demo or appointment with them, I'm scheduling those and I'm filling them in for that week or maybe the next week, depending how all schedules all match up and stuff. And so that's how I'm starting to build for the future already. And that's really important, especially during Train More weeks. I'm already in my mind setting appointments or enrollments for Train More. And so even if it is a couple weeks out, a few weeks out, I'm already being very mindful of that and already writing those in. I'm being like, you know what, this works best for me, and make sure it works best for them as well. But also what I like to do at the end of each week. So typically I try to do it Friday afternoons if I don't have appointments. I will sit down and just take Sometimes it's not even that long. It's even like 20 minutes. And I'm reviewing my schedule for next week. And I'm also seeing if there's any gaps, like where I'm like, gosh, I have a little bit of lead time here. I have about 2 hours in between these appointments. I'm in this area. Who could I see there? And I might do a little research quick of who's closest to those businesses or those one-on-one appointments that I can quick jump to. And I'm making notes actually in my calendar so that I know when I'm there already, these are the places I want to stop at. So I try to do it at the end of each week, so I'm prepared already on Monday. Sometimes my weekends get a little hectic. I know some people feel more comfortable doing them like on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon or something. They plan for the next week. I like to do it before my week closes because of having a family and we have a farm and stuff. Sometimes my weekends get a little hectic, and so I try to plan before the week starts.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I love that. Thank you.
You're welcome. So the biggest piece about consistency is it really helps with maintaining and keeping business on your books, keeping everything active. Again, we asked our 2 questions. Why is it important to keep business on the books? And then how do we maintain or strengthen that business on the books? So the importance of keeping it on the books is obviously it's our success in our career, right? We want that growth. That's why we all go into being an entrepreneur. We want to develop and grow a business for ourselves. So that's so important because without growth, your business isn't going to stay and stuff, and it's going to make you very nervous, right? Plus also the financial piece of it. With growth, definitely comes the financial income that comes with that. What we do has the residual income as well. So we're setting ourselves up for the future, our families. That's really important. Plus also, it's so important to keep business on your books is because that can affect, even if you don't know this already, or if you do, it's a reminder, it can affect our monthly bonuses from corporate, right? It's something important about knowing your numbers or where you sit to make sure that you're getting the full benefit out of all those opportunities we have for that additional income. And then also the importance of keeping business on your books is that's your career longevity, right? That's our reputation in our communities that we're working in. And also that's how it helps with our referrals. I personally am not, I guess I don't get as excited about cold calls as some people do. I get pretty nervous about them still. It doesn't matter. And I love referrals. I feel so much more comfortable with referrals. So it's something that I remind myself on every demo. I'm asking for those referrals. And also with those policyholders that have been with me for a long period of time, I'm still going back and asking them for referrals because that feels more comfortable to me when I'm out in the field, being able to have that. Working in small rural communities, that's really important for me. So that's the importance of it. And then it's how do we maintain or strengthen it? Like I mentioned before, in my demos, I do take a little bit longer because I'm really listening to the policyholders' needs. I'm asking those second level questions, and I'm really keeping in mind their monthly budget. They're going to allude to things that keep you kind of abreast of where their situation is financially and the impact this could have for them. So I know when I'm building a policy package for them, I have an idea already of where we're kind of gravitating towards. I'm always going to show them everything, right? I'm going to show them the best of the best, but then we're going to build off of there based on what I know. Okay. And that's really the key part, I think, for me of maintaining my book of business and that consistency of keeping such a high A to T ratio. Is I'm really fitting plans within the individual's budgets. I'm not going above and beyond what they can financially handle. And that's where I pride myself more than anything with every person I meet with. And I tell them that flat out, that is what I pride myself on. And we're going to find something that works for you. In addition to that, and you probably noticed I mentioned bundles. I don't know if you guys do this already or not. I show them all coverages because I don't know what's going to be most important to them or not. I know by asking them which one stands out to you or the one they worry the most about. I understand that, but reality has reminded me so many times in this career already that anything can happen to anyone at any time. And I would have a hard time laying my head down at night sleeping if I knew I didn't show them all options that are available to them. And so I will bundle packages for them so they have all the coverage that's available if that's what they're interested in. And then it's for being leading forefront with customer service, right? I am there when they're going through a tough time, when they have questions. To be honest, I see a lot of my policyholders at the grocery store, at gas stations, and I always take a minute to catch up, right? It's always the interesting time. You never know when you're going to see them. And they like to know that you're willing to be there for them. And then regular reservicing. So I'm always touching base with them, see how things are going. Has there been any life changes, any additions to the family? Has there been any type of events that have happened that we need to file a claim? You know, where are we sitting at with coverage? Are we feeling comfortable with it? Do we need to add any? Do we need to increase it? Different avenues like that, because at different times of life, things change. I'm sorry, the sun is like really shining right now, which is great. And then also the last thing is just know your numbers, right? Look at your reports. I don't know if you do that every week. That's something that's really important to me, because I feel like if you don't know where you don't know where you're going if you don't know where you've been. And so if you don't know your numbers, how can you improve your numbers, or how can you reach the goals that you want to be at? Okay. And so one thing is that Casper report. I'm not sure if that's something that you guys look at often. It's something that we really look at closely, because that's what really focuses on the consistency of writing business and then that business staying on the books. And that's something that's really important that I look at. It comes out once a month. And that's where I get those numbers that really highlight how I'm doing as a business, along with all the other great reports that are out there. But that is it. That's really the main focus that I wanted to talk about today, was how important it is about the consistency of writing new business every week, every day. I mean, I have a goal that I try to protect the family every day. That's a goal that I run for. And then maintaining that business on the books. That's really important to me, is to develop those relationships with all of the policyholders I work with, that they're going to be with me for the long haul, and I can help them and their family for the long haul.
Melissa, what's your timeline look like when following up with a client?
For the reservicing side?
Yes.
Yeah. So I always like to, first and foremost, if it's a new policy holder, after 30 days, I like to connect with them again, just to make sure they receive their policy in the mail, to make sure they don't have any additional questions, and just kind of go through a little bit of the coverage again, just to remind them why they loved it so much, or why they saw the value in it, and stuff, just to make sure that everyone feels comfortable. Because a lot of times I have to say, there is always a couple questions that come after the fact. They're like, I know you probably said this, Melissa, but what do I do for this? Or what does this mean? And so I do that. And then also, depending on if it's individual or business, individuals, I try to touch base with them once a year if I don't hear from them sooner, just to kind of do a full review of their coverage, make sure we didn't miss any claims being filed or any life changes. But I have to say, I work with a lot of rural communities, so I see everyone more often than that, I would say. And then for all the businesses I work with, I always set up a schedule with them right after I do the first enrollment for them. I actually ask the business owner, the HR professional, whoever I'm working with in the leadership side, how often do you want me to come back and check in on you guys? I just ask them flat out. And I have some businesses that say, Melissa, we'd like you to come back quarterly. Melissa, every 6 months. Honestly, once a year would be great, just at this exact time frame. Or I have some businesses that I touch base with them just by a phone call or an email, like on a monthly basis, just to make sure there's no new hires and stuff. So I really just established that working relationship right way in the beginning. So then I know, and I'm already putting in my calendar how often I'm stopping in. I also am a big treat giver. And so like, especially with the businesses, I will stop by and just drop off treats. You know, it might not be my scheduled time to be there, but I will drop off a little treat for everyone and just, you know, and at that time, a lot of times they're like, oh my gosh, yeah, we meant to call you. You know, we have new hires or, you know, this employee wanted to talk to you and I forgot to tell you that, whatever it might be. And so those are kind of times where I would do that. And it's all different, I would say.
That's awesome. That's fun. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and open it up for questions. We have just a couple minutes. We're already a little over. So if you have a question for Melissa, go ahead and fire away.
Hey, Melissa, this is Zach. This is Gold. I know you spoke with us, I don't know, 10 months ago or so, and I have a ton of notes from that as well with enrollments. But my question for everyone, or for you, for everyone, is you're pretty dialed in. You're doing a lot of small things that make a big, big difference, from emails, thank you cards, buying treats, follow-ups. Can you give us kind of a timeline? Because I think a lot of us, we get stuck in, oh, I'm in the field, sell. But then, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. I just worked 8 to 9, 10 hours, and I just don't feel like doing the small things. So what are some of your daily timelines of how you manage in the field, and then of course working on your business?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And actually some really good comments as well. So one thing that I have to say, to be honest, I would say this is a work in progress of balancing all of that. I agree with you 100% when I first started, and I still feel like I'm very new in this career, but being only here a year and a half. But when I first started, I was the same way. I was like, oh my gosh, you got to get out there and you got to talk to everyone and just like run. And I forgot to kind of dial back about, you know, we work with people, right? And I want people to feel important and to mean something to me as well and appreciative. And so like I had to kind of just go back a little bit to the basics on how I want to feel when I'm working with someone. And so for me to be able to separate it, what I like to do a lot of times is so when I'm in the field, you know, I'm focused on selling, to be honest. And right now that is my main focus because I want to win I Dare You again. And I'm like not letting anything stop me. I'm focusing on that. So I'm making sure my time really matters. But what I am doing on these extra, like few little extra things that I do, I try to do some in the morning. I get up early in the morning. I get up at 5 a.m. every morning. You know, I try to get a workout in, you know, get everything prepped and ready before my son has to get up and get him ready for daycare. So I try to do a few things there. If I can get a couple thank you cards done, if I can get a couple emails out. I have to say I'm a big fan of sending or scheduling to send emails. So I'll do them in the morning or at night and get them sent at 8 a.m. or 8:30 or whatever time it is. So I try to do those ahead of time. I'll even if, for instance, too, if I have a couple minutes in between appointments in my car, I'm doing stuff. You know, I'm making a call quick, I'm shooting an email quick or a text message. Seems like a lot of people like to text now more than anything, and stuff. And so I'm trying to do those. So I really try. I wish I could tell you there's one way to do it. I don't think there is. I think you have to find what's best for you and how it works. And what I found is that I just try to take it in small pieces and just fit it in during the day where I can. And sometimes, yeah, I don't hit them all. And so I'm playing a little catch up on like a Saturday morning quick, because I'm just someone that'll stick in my head and I can't stop thinking about it until it's done.
Gotcha. Well, I can definitely tell that you're doing the things that failures don't like to do, including myself. You know, I find excuses all the time. Oh, you know, it was a long week. And as soon as I lose the momentum of emailing and thank you cards, it bleeds into the next week. So those are huge takeaways. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. You're welcome. Yeah. And sometimes, to be honest, I would even say, even with the thank you cards, sometimes I don't even always write a thank you card. I just pop my head back in and thank them for their business. And thank them for trusting me to work with me. You know, you don't even have to go the full step of that handwritten note. It's just a matter of you making the point to call them, to stop in, to reestablish that connection again. And stuff. So if that saves you a little bit of time, utilize that method too. See what works best for you.
Awesome. Thank you.
One last question from anybody? Last chance right here. Nope. All right. Well, Melissa, thank you so much for hopping on this morning. I have a page and a half of notes myself, so I'm really looking forward to putting some of these things into action. So thank you so much for taking your time out, joining us this morning. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And guys, get out there, be a blessing to everybody else, and crush your Tuesday.
Thanks everyone. Have a great day.
Thanks, Melissa. Taco Tuesday.
Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa.
Yeah.